This is why you want to have real estate. So we have these students, Cecilia and Ron, they were very successful. They made a lot of money in their industries, being executives and salespeople and things like that. They made so much money in real estate that they both quit their jobs and now they 100% real estate. But Cecilia said she watched this television interview, typical financial planner saying save a lot of money so you have enough to live on. And this couple had saved $1 million and they were going to live on $50,000 a year. Now that was probably about a quarter of what they were used to living on. And they said, I'm not going to spend my whole life saving to live on that. So they pursued real estate. And at the time, they had generated over $60,000 a year in passive income, plus all the tax write-offs that I had mentioned, right? And they had only invested $400,000 instead of $1 million. Now, some of us in the room don't have $400,000, but I'm trying to say, but those, but if you have assets and if you have good credit and you go the traditional route, you can put down 25, 30% and still leverage everything and get all that strong cash flow. Now, since then, they learned our methods of doing owner financing, and they're much better off. Even that, but isn't that amazing? So, and the other thing, like you said, we have these cycles, and if you can buy and hold for the next 4 or 5 years, and then cash out, and then watch the crash, and then do it all over again, that's a pretty good strategy. And that's why I showed you how to do the due diligence yourself. So, the thing about being involved with us is that we are local, we know our neighborhoods. I make phone calls all the time. What about this market? What about this market? You get to deal with people that are already doing this business. I used to call CT REIA the 12-step program for real estate investors because most people don't know what we do. And so you get to hang out with people and you get motivated. You come in once a month. I know it's a haul from Fairfield to come up to Meriden, but you get super motivated every single time. And so that's one thing you want to do. Yeah, go ahead.
In the beginning of the presentation, when you were showing the market cycle, and it's about 18 years, mm-hmm. and that's for home values. Mm-hmm. What are rental values in the same cycle?
That's a great question. That I'm not sure of. I've just been watching Connecticut, and
I'm wondering if it's the inverse.
Then it would still be an 18-year cycle, right?
It would still be an 18-year cycle, but when house values are at their lowest,
right.
Rental income would be at the highest.
You would think, however...
No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you would kind of think that, but here's the thing. At that time, the reason why values go down so much is because people have lost their jobs, they don't have good credit, and so those same people can't afford rentals. So
my thinking is people always need a place to live.
Yes.
And if they're not able to buy the house because of the economic situation, they're renting. And if the market is flooded with renters, supply and demand dictates that the rents should be high.
Exactly, yes. And it's going to keep on going like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lynn, you want to talk?
You just have to be careful, though, is that when the market is low, there's some really good buys out there. And so a lot of people are buying. And so some of those renters who can afford it are going out and buying instead. So your rental rates don't go up as much. That's actually what we did in 2008, was we sold our rental property because the first time in 15 years, we had trouble renting it. And we probably could have gotten a renter, but we're like, hey, maybe we should just sell it,
Yep.
I think there are also regional factors as well, too. You really drill down and see what's happening in the local economy. The generalities, when businesses come and go, when other regional influences happen, it can cause a bubble, in a market that normally wouldn't have that.
Which unfortunately came in late because we addressed all that, like where are the jobs and all that. So you got to do the macro and the micro.
Right.
As the economy
the rates play a big part as well.
Yeah.
Interest rates.
Interest rates for people to be able to borrow.
Yes.
If the interest rates are really low, they can borrow and they can afford to buy that house.
Yes.
So you have to pay attention. It's a combination of everything.
Yes. This is simplified, but everything kind of goes in cycles. Like the interest rates will, and I mean, right now, if people feel like, right now, Joanne's seeing that a lot of people are now stopping renting and they're buying we've just come out of a cycle, and I think we're still in the middle of it, where we have the highest rentership since 1960. Like, and a lot of people don't want to buy because they saw their parents, they saw their parents get foreclosed on, or they've been foreclosed on, and they don't want to do that, or they want to live, loose and fancy free. But and a lot has to do with jobs, I think. If you've got a good job that's going to last for a while, then you've got the confidence that you're going to be able to qualify for a mortgage and keep going. So
credit has a lot to do with it because, as you were saying, in that 2008 downturn when people were struggling with credit scores and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, the interest rates are low, but unless your credit score is 800 or above, you're not getting that 3%.
I know lots of people had 800 credit scores, and when everything crashed, they still couldn't get a mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
They just couldn't. So there are definitely a lot of factors, but what I'm saying is that there's the macro, okay, there's this 18-year cycle, but if you follow certain data, like Zillow, like working with your real estate agent, like reading your newspaper and you're doing all this, you will be alert to what the trends are before anybody else will. So I'm just saying being an educated consumer is a good idea for sure. So it comes and goes. So for those who are not yet members of CTRIA, it's only $165 for an entire year. It's $250 for two of you. We meet every month in Meriden, and we do have a women's RIA about once a year. From time to time, we'll do a rehab subgroup where one of our members will show off a property that they've renovated. So you can walk through them to see what's going on there. From time to time, we haven't been in Fairfield County for a very long time. I apologize for that, but but from time to time we get down here. So all of that's included for $165. Plus, we give you lots of different discounts on resources. Our vendors will give you discounts, and they're all listed on our website. And in all of our workshops, they're discounted for our members. So besides this tax write-off, right? Because you're a real estate investor. So, but for coming tonight, we will take $30 off. We'll give you a $30 discount. So if you want to join for that, you can walk and do that. So that's what this slide says. Yay. Okay. Let me talk about being better educated than your uneducated competitors. A lot of people are trying to do, I'm making an offer right now on a house in my neighborhood, and it's really ticking me off because somebody came in and offered $100,000. I have no idea why they're doing $100,000. My offer is 50. This house is in bad shape. I'm ticked because I really want this. I want to fix it up and maybe live there. So, but that is always our competition, right? Or people who think they know something, they watch HGTV, and now they think they know how to do things. And they spend way too much. And a lot of times the REOs, half of it is rehabbed and half of it isn't because they ran out of money. So I'm trying to avoid that. And I know there's a lot of groups here in the area, but I think that we offer some of the best training out there, and we're also accountable for our training. Like, we put our reputations on the line for the information that we give out to people. I just want to share what can run into things, not to scare people, but to, like, this is the value of education. So one of my students was offered by a real estate agent a 3-property package deal, and it seemed like a sweet deal. And short sale, this one was already short sale for $140,000, say. So he signed the contract and then he called me. It's supposed to be the other way around. He's supposed to call me first. Anyway, I looked at the GIS map, which, if you go to your tax assessor, you can pull up all of the land records and they'll show you a map. And let's just say this house was on Scott Road. And the main street was on High Street. It's on the corner of Scott and High. It wasn't even on the corner. It wasn't even really on the corner of Scott and High. And I said to him, look, there's no way to get to your property from Scott Street. And your address is Scott Street. How are you going to get into your property? He said, wow, I didn't know that. Well, let me go find out. So it turned out that there was an easement to get to that driveway, so they could do it, and they shared responsibility for snow shoveling, which I never really liked. But okay, he went there, he got it, and it got appraised for $185,000. So $40,000 worth of equity, nice deal, awesome. However, he had these two other properties. The land, he was supposed to pay $75,000, only worth $50,000. And then this one was overpriced by $60,000. The seller figures you're getting a really good deal on this first one, and I want to make some money because I created these things, so I should do that. And this was pretty easy because we had an appraisal on this as part of the first purchase. It was pretty easy to figure out that this and this were about the same price. So he got on the phone and I said, look, you got to back out. But if he hadn't called me, and he was using hard money to buy these things, I know. And his son did not get to buy the house he was going to buy because he was the borrower, official borrower on the hard money. Anyway, bad news. So this is a failure of one, not knowing how to evaluate the value of the property before you put it under contract. You've got to figure that out. And that's why I'm saying comps and using reliable people. Obviously, this real estate agent either didn't know what they were talking about or was trying to pull a fast one. We're not sure. You also want to know what investors want to do. So especially if you're going to be a wholesaler and you're trying to sell to a rehabber, you got to make sure there's enough. You got to be able to know that there's enough profit for the rehabber to know. And what are we looking for? Right? So I go through all this in Real Estate 101 in lots and lots of detail. Like I said, we've already done the first two classes. We've got one more next do it Wednesday. Online.
And
or
everything is, and it's
do it
really, of
online.
course, it's worth at least $1,000 on
And
the
it's
open
really,
market.
of course, it's
Just
worth
we
at
try
least
to provide it
$1,000
as
on the open
inexpensively
market.
as possible.
Just we try to
Plus,
provide
I
it
don't-
as
I'm not a name
inexpensively as
brand, and I
possible.
don't have a TV
Plus,
show,
I'm not a
and I
name
don't
brand, and
advertise
I
on
don't have a
TV.
TV
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
there
don't
you go.
advertise on
Thank you.
TV.
So
So,
that's the
yeah,
first